Yo, so I'm here today on the Wheels and Waves podcast with
Wes.
Timmy.
these guys are from WRV, and they're gonna tell us a little bit about WRV, and they drove all the way up here from North Carolina. So, if you guys want to talk a little bit about that, let's hear it.
About WRV itself?
Yeah, WRV, obviously you guys came a long way to surf here, and what's your story? Tell us what you got.
WRV's cool. We've been making boards since the 60s, 67. Made in America, American materials. We've had a lot of different shapers. I think we have different shapers for different styles of boards. We've kind of got a shaper and shape for almost everybody.
So are you guys part of the team, or what's your role kind of within WRV?
We're like Swiss Army knives, I guess. Kind of do everything. Help design how the boards look. Think about color ideas. WRV is definitely a collective. It's a lot of people that, certain teams work on these things, but we don't even label it that way. That's just how it happens. It's pretty neat. Someone might have an idea or a desire, and then someone else is like, oh, I've been thinking that too, and then maybe you two spearhead an idea, and then you start grabbing different people within the company to make it happen. And that's just literally how pretty much anything goes with the company, which is pretty neat. It's definitely really it's loose and pretty core, and stuff happens, and it's been happening for a long time, so we'll see what happens and how it continues to evolve. I don't know. Timmy, you got any
We're a product testing team. And,
research and development.
yeah.
Sometimes even on the boards we'll write WRV, RV, which means Wave Riding Vehicles Research Vessel. And I have this dream that I'm trying to incorporate. It's called the Blowhole Division. And
Okay.
we're definitely Blowhole Division. It's
We're the hard edge pushers.
yeah, we're hard edge on the
We're team
on the boards.
change the lineup.
Okay.
We really rip through it. Bring
We like to try to
we
make
bring
people
the cool shit.
Yeah, we want to be happy out there. We try. We try.
We should have mentioned we're currently shooting this in the WRV surf van that Wes and Timmy drove up from North Carolina, right? So, talk to me about what being on the road is like. I mean, obviously Maine is a lot different from North Carolina. How have you guys, been enjoying the surf up here? What's it like just sort of being able to work for a company where you just sort of get on the road? You come to shops like Wheels and Waves and kind of experience the culture up here.
It's the best.
Yeah, we love it. Most people know there's no money in surfboards, so we do it because we love it. I think Timmy's been on the road with me a ton. Anytime there's a north trip, we're thrilled. So many good waves, beautiful air, the water's nice, a lot of spots. Surfers are cool. A lot of places to go with wind direction, a lot of the Virginia Beach or the Outer Banks, there's only kind of a few nooks where you can surf based on the wind, whereas here you have all kinds of stuff,
You got options.
Way more options.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about what the surf is like in North Carolina. What are some of the biggest differences you've noticed here, as opposed to you go to a beach on Outer Banks and you're paddling out, you're on Gooches or short sands here. How are you kind of thinking about it differently, and what's it been kind of like?
It's not home. So like you're saying, the Outer Banks, Virginia is just, this is the coast, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting there's certainly no islands, up here there's options.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best. And also it's just different. You don't do it every day.
Down there or up here?
Well, I'm saying, yeah, coming up here, it's a whole new world. First of all, we're wearing booties.
Yeah.
And wetsuits. I don't know the last time you wore booties, but
yeah,
for me it's been a long time. But yeah, and you don't know. I mean, Timmy's we know some people in the lineup.
He's in Hawaii a lot. So.
Are you really? Okay.
But not knowing people in the lineup and then kind of shaking
I
it
prefer,
up.
yeah,
it's
we prefer not knowing people in the lineup, I think, because, like,
I feel like that's a great way to meet people. Like, you just paddle out and you just yell to the guy 10 feet away from you, yo, what's up? You just, like, burned me, or, like, you know?
I mean, we're maybe giving away secrets, whoever watches it. We play by the rules for a good 30, 40 minutes, and if it's too serious out there,
we shake it up.
we try to shake it up and make it fun.
How so? Just, like...
Just be yourself.
Okay.
Loosen up.
Then people are like...
You know, we're surfing
but
after
it's
all.
good. It's
you know?
not like... We're not being angry, getting weird. We're just like, dude, everybody...
A little bit of banter.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that's the worst when you get out on the water and, like, it's just silence.
So serious.
Yeah. You gotta, like, start chopping it up and, like, entertaining people. Like, you paddle out with one of your boys and, like, you just start chirping him or something like that, and then people are just watching. It's like free entertainment.
Yeah. But yeah, we, like, you know, like I said, we'll show up and be completely respectful, like, because it's not our home break or whatever, but just read the room and see what's going on. But we try to have, I mean, we have fun. If Timmy and I are surfing together, we're having, like, time of our lives. So we just kind of, we're not going to not be ourselves.
Right.
So if everyone else is serious and we show up and we're going to have fun, sometimes it's contagious and other people catch on board. And the other day we surfed dry rocks and that's what happened, and it was, like, the best, you know.
Talk to me a little bit about what it's like working for WRV and kind of, like, seeing yourselves as, like, people who sort of, like, bring that culture. Like, how important is it at WRV to kind of, like, bring this sort of, like, energy and, like, enthusiasm to surfing and kind of, like, put it out there and have you guys as, like, representatives of that culture?
I think it's super important just because, like, WRV is a really interesting company. Where we live, I think a lot of people think of WRV as a surf shop. But my job and one of my roles, in my opinion, is, like, I'm here to show people that we are a surf brand in the sense that we make surfboards. Like, clearly, that's the heart of WRV is surfboards. And my purpose is to remind people that, you know. So I think being out here on the road, showing off boards and hanging out and talking is cool. And it's also important, too. I always try to, I don't know if this is part of the question, but I like to tell people, like, you know, the East Coast is, you could travel up and down the East Coast pretty quickly and go to a lot of different towns. And I always like to try to shake people up and be like, go, you got to travel. You got to go surf Long Island in New York. You got to go surf in Maine. You got to surf in New Hampshire. You got to go see the Outer Banks. Like, I meet so many people that have not been to all the different places, you know, and it's not even that far of a drive. Like, we left Tuesday at 4 a.m. and we were in Maine by 4 p.m. that same day, you know. Get out there and see it, you know.
I think the representative portion, or whatever you're mentioning, I think it's about being approachable.
Yeah.
Like, going in the water, like, I don't want to be like this. I want to be, oh, what's up, where are you from? You know, here's what we're doing. I feel like just carrying yourself like that everywhere is, like, how you open up to people in the world type of deal. And then things just start, like, happening.
Yeah.
Like, the stories could go on forever of what it's been like to just be
like last night,
a real person out there.
Last night we were at a theater and, like, this dude came up next to us and he was like, you guys have any Slayers in the van? And, like, he just knew we were the people that were in the van with WRV, and he knew some of our models, and, like, we ended up hanging out with him until, like, 2 a.m. Gave him a fish out of the van, and, like...
Did you charge him or no?
We did a deal.
That's crazy.
He owns a cantina.
Treetop Tacos?
Yeah. Treehouse?
Treehouse?
You
Gave the owner of Treetop Tacos a fish out of the back of the
But
WRV
we made a
van.
deal. We made it so he owes us $250 credit in chips, margaritas, and tacos, and he gave us a sum of money as well. It was and I have it on paper. Like, I wrote up a really funny invoice, and I might get in trouble for it. But the owner of WRV, Les Shaw, we love Les. He used to do crazy shit like that all the time, like batshit crazy stuff on the road. And, like, again, I say I have all these jobs. One of my jobs is, like, fucking things up. Because, like, Les would do crazy things, and I'm like, if I am too tight, then I'm not doing what Les would have done. So last night we pulled a Les move, and that's exactly what happened.
So he kind of hears about people doing this stuff at his company. He's like, I can't even get mad because I did the same shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
His son understands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. LG.
How old is his son?
How old are you? Leave us,
If you're watching LG, how
leave
old
us
are
a
you?
comment
Okay. Fair enough.
and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to the Wheels and Waves channel, please. Timmy, talk to me a little bit about how important like confidence is when you're surfing, because as you kind of said before, like when you're just yourself and you allow people can see that, it opens doors for you. So talk to me a little bit about how that's been for you at WRV, in the water, just in general. Like, what does that mean, like in the sport of surfing, being able to sort of have that confidence and carry yourself too as like a surfer? That's a deep one, I know, but
I think the confidence has to come along with like humility as well. Like everybody wants to be a pro surfer, right? It's not gonna happen for a lot of people. But
I wanted to be in a band, so.
Almond Brothers, there you go.
I think it's like it's like you bring to anything. It's humility. Like you have to be able to laugh. I don't care if it's a double overhead or like knee high. If you're out there and just like can't change your perspective to have a good time, that's terrible. I think so. So I think the confidence is just in like, I don't know, being out there. You kind of maybe take it for granted. And then you're just like, well, I gotta go surfing. I have this. Like, here's my time to like have fun. And you're gonna like ruin it by being like, you know, maybe overconfident or just like people burning people. People being like, get out of here, you don't. It's just like, bro, nobody owns the ocean. Like, that sounds kind of like, but like it's true. Respect is a huge thing. But everybody wants waves, dude. Yeah. We're all out there trying to have fun. Like, everybody gets fired up. Like, yeah.
What do you think is the best way to like respond to people who kind of don't take that attitude? Like, it's like waist high and like some dude is coming after you for burning him, and it's like, dude, we're just all out here trying to have fun. You know, it wasn't like an accident. Like, how do you guys like kind of like with your attitude of sort of like bringing the energy and like bring the fun? Like, how do you deal with adversity in the water? Like, what's your...
Definitely don't burn anybody. And if you get burned...
We burn each other all the time,
yeah.
though. That's like part of the deal.
But yeah, if you get burned, I don't know, whatever. Surf behind them, you know, if you can. But if not, just laugh about it. There's going to be another wave, and if there's not, like, you're probably going to go eat like a good burrito or like a burger after.
Yeah.
And you can find something good in that. I don't know.
My answer's kind of corny, but like, you never know what that person's going through, you know? Like, they might be mad about the waves or the conditions, but they might have like a daughter with cancer or something, you know? So like, maybe they're more mad about that and like they're taking it out somewhere else. So
Yeah,
I try to just kind of be like, especially if I don't know the person, like, wow, what's up with that dude, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably not this.
Kind of when you're like in the water and you're with everyone, you got to keep in mind like we're all human, you know.
Same thing in traffic, you know what I mean? Like, you'll be driving and like no telling what the hell's happening. Like, that person you hate next to you in the car, like, they might be going through something crazy, so you never know. So just try to be
dude. And it's like driving. If someone hits you from behind, it's always going to be their fault. So I want to switch gears like a tiny bit. Guys, talk to me about, you know, how you got into surfing. Like, what's the story? What's your beginning? How did you get involved with WRV? The whole shebang. Like, let's just get it all out there.
How did you start surfing?
Like family trips in the Outer Banks and like standing up on boogie boards. And then after that, I think just some of my friends, either their dad surfed or something, because my dad never surfed. But he was like, yeah, dude, you know.
Damn, I never thought about that. Yeah, no one in our family surfed.
Yeah.
We're like first generation surfers.
I think like an uncle may have like given us a surfboard and like a wetsuit that was like this big. And I was like, what's that for? But
like
I think it was
surfing.
probably just friends. And I mean, growing up at the beach, it's like, it's gonna like infect you.
Yeah, Virginia Beach in
Type
the
of deal.
like 80s and 90s was like surfing was big. You know, we all had posters on our walls of like surfers and stuff. But yeah, I love skateboarding. I started skating when I was like 5. Honestly, here's my story. My neighbor across the street raced BMX. My neighbor to the left was a skateboarder, and then my next door neighbor to the right, their dad was a diehard surfer. So I got into all those things, you know. But my parents were from like Western North Carolina, so they didn't surf. I skateboarded, was obsessed with that, and then like I always wanted to surf, so I got like a bodyboard. My parents were supportive, you know. I got a bodyboard, then I moved on to skimboarding, and like my best friend at the time, RC Haran, his mom and dad saved my life, I think, because they took me to the beach, 46th Street. She was Norwegian, and she was translating Norwegian to English for the Norwegian government, and had this sick job, and she could do it at the beach. So she would take RC and I, and his younger brother Ryan, who's Timmy's friend too. We're all friends, but like we would all go to the beach all day long and bodyboard. Then we'd start skimboarding, and we were good at those things, and we were good at skating, and we were like, oh, we're gonna rip at surfing. And RC's dad, Rob, had a surfboard. He was stationed in Hawaii. On Sundays, we'd go to this different beach and try to surf. And we sucked. We were horrible. And it took us a long time to figure it out. Surfing's still, I think, the hardest thing I've ever learned how to do, you know?
What do you guys think is like the hardest part about it? Like paddling in and like popping up, or like actually balancing on the wave?
I just think the conditions are constantly changing, and reading the wave is such a thing, and making sure you and your equipment makes sense, and like how your fins interact with the rail, and there's so many variables, you know, in the ocean. Now with wave pools, it's like a little bit more predictable, but it's just constantly evolving and changing. You're dealing with water, air, like, you know, like even like the other day, surfing in a wetsuit, my board felt different than it did bareback. And now I'm not talking about paddling, but just like it actually was coming off the bottom differently, you know what I mean? Because you have a different weight and it's pushing the board a certain way. There's variables constantly with surfing, so I think that's what makes it really difficult.
What do you think the best way to kind of like be able to like adjust to those variables is? Because obviously if it's different every time you go out, you're gonna have to be you're gonna have to, you know, be like flexible. So how do you guys kind of like approach that when you surf, just sort of being ready for whatever comes your way?
That's like, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I think that just happens putting time in. You kind of have, it's like with anything, you start here and then incrementally it's like you get your like merit badges or whatever they're called, you know, like, and then it's just experiences. You start taking that from a session, you know, 20 days ago or whatever, and you're like, oh, when it was like this, I like to surf this board, and when it was like this, I had this board that worked better. It's just kind of taking your experiences, learning from them.
It's all research.
And then, research and development too.
Yeah. And like,
Timmy,
and no session's the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes people will get like freaked out over like big waves or this or that or the other, and I'm like, you never knew what was going to happen any session you ever paddled out, so you just kind of got to go out there and see what happens, you know. And you're not just going to fucking blow up. Like, the consequences are pretty mellow if you're not like full of yourself, you know. You're going to go out there and surf.
What would you say to that kid who's, you know, just got like a, I don't know, like a 6'4", 6'8"? It's like overhead conditions. Kid's been like pretty good, you know, like popping up on like a long surf before and like the huge waves, a little bit nervous to paddle out. What advice do you have for him? Like, what do you, like, he's like, oh, dude, I'm so nervous, but like I got this new board and I really want to go out. What are you telling him to do? Walk me through it.
Get out of my way. No. Nah,
Just clear out and let me
take
surf.
it easy. You have to be able to have humility of yourself. Like, you're not, I mean, I don't know, maybe he is going to be naturally talented and just be like, yo.
Yeah, and he might click with that more than he would have on a small day. You know, I see that all the time, especially if they're like bigger guys, like strong, big guys. Like, if they're trying to surf a small East Coast wave and then they go, maybe they might surf better in big shit. You know, it's cool what everyone kind of clicks to. I think my biggest advice on your question, for someone that's going out into bigger surf or something that's like maybe above their level, but you have to like challenge yourself to get better, you know, I always say, like, the ocean always wins, you know, like, you are very small, the ocean's huge, so like you can't fight it, and just go with the flow, and like try to relax. Even if you get demolished by a wave. Like, just relax as much as you can, and then you're gonna work your way to the surface. And most cases, waves roll into the beach, so like if all things fall apart,
You're gonna end up back on the
Just-
beach.
you just get pushed in.
But yeah, take chances for sure. Like he's saying, like challenge yourself. That's the only way you're gonna get better, and the only way you're gonna learn. Obviously, don't like weigh your consequences, but like you have to. It's like anything. If you don't like go for it, you'll never know if you can like get there, type of deal. I
Right.
say so.
100%.
But make sure you can like hold your breath and swim and
Yeah. Have the basics down.
Don't destroy yourself in the name of like progress.
Don't
but-
die trying
Yeah.
to surf.
Don't die. Yeah.
Have you guys noticed that your attitude over the years has changed based on what you've learned in the water? Like, for example, like you have a horrible session, like you go in, you just feel defeated. Obviously, like you guys surf almost like what, like every day?
I wish. It depends on the waves, but yeah.
Talk to me about what that's been like, just sort of going after again and again and again. And I mean, I'm sure you guys have had your moments too where you've been like kind of beat down, but you've just gotten back up and stuck with surfing. Like, how has that kind of changed your perspective on life?
I mean, exactly what you said. The hits are always going to keep coming, but like, man, what are you going to do? Quit? Stop? I mean, if you have a love for something, you can't let that die or fizzle out. Like, we've all had we've had like session upon session upon session where you're just like,
It's
but
hard-
you also have to realize like, you'll have another session and like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, East Coast is hard. You get all it takes is like this is a kind of normal saying is it just takes one wave. You get like one good wave again, you're like, oh, I remember why I like this. You know what I mean? And even like back to the boards and stuff, like you'll go on the road and you'll show up to shops and like there's been no waves. No one gives a shit. It's just like they're like, oh yeah, cool. Like almost there becomes a resentment to surfboards, to surfing if it's been bad, and then like you show up when there's waves and it's like the coolest thing in the world. Like this trip's been great because there's been waves and everyone's so stoked to see us and we're so happy to see them, and like you have fun in the water, then you have fun on land, and it's like when there's waves on the East Coast, it is a magical, beautiful thing, So you just gotta remember that, I think.
So kind of like retain that like
Yeah.
sense of magic, like even in the tough times.
And it brings its own energy. Like, sounds pretty woo-woo, but like, yeah, you just tap in. I mean, that's
Ride
literally
the wave.
energy is what you're riding. So it's like he was saying, like everybody gets fired up when there's, especially on the East Coast, because East Coast is like notoriously one of the flattest places in the world. So it's like when it comes, it's like we're doing it, and everybody understands that. You get like 2-hour windows. It's been happening up and down the East Coast. Like I'm pretty sure it's been blowing like straight north. Places you cannot find like nooks and crannies. So it's like you find like 50 minutes of like a little bit of west in the wind, and you're out there. And you learn that growing up. You're like, you have to strike when like the iron's hot, or you're not gonna surf.
I feel like that's also kind of a metaphor for life. Like you gotta just take the opportunities when they come. You gotta just dive into them, even if you're not ready. You gotta just push yourself, and you'll get ready.
That's how you learn.
Talk to me about you guys' favorite part about being in the surf world, whether it's with WRV, whether it's actually being in the water, whether it's the connections that you guys are able to make. What is like the most special part about being in this community for you?
I think it's cool traveling the world, and like it's insane. Like you'll be no telling where you're at, man. Anywhere in the world, and you will see someone you know. I think that's cool. It's there's a ton of people that surf, but somehow you just run into each other. I think that's great. I like seeing things evolve too. Like I like seeing surfboard technology like get pushed and pulled nonstop, and to be able to experience that firsthand, like how the different changes in fins or the different changes in fiberglass, like the way you glass a board, the weights of the foam, like all these things, like all those variables. It's cool to be living in that and experiencing the change and like evolution of stuff. And like it's fun watching like surfboard shapers too. Like a lot of new shapers, they kind of romanticize the old days, and they'll start making shapes that are like in that realm. and surf them, and you know, they work. Any board works. It's just how well it does or how you can adapt to it or whatever. But like, it's cool watching new shapers evolve and start making boards that are like more modernized because they find out why that certain things didn't work or what those attributes did that were potentially negative for like a general circumstance in the ocean, you know?
Right.
So like I love just like witnessing surfing at large just evolve, you know, and then living in that.
And also kind of seeing how it impacts people's lives too, I would imagine. Like the kid who
Totally.
the kid who always wanted a surfboard, like grabbing a foamy and like getting in the water, suddenly, you know, becoming part of the regular lineup and like eventually getting like a 5'10" shortboard and even going pro. Like,
Yeah. Girls, dude, girl surfers, super cool. I married one. But I love the girls, man. They're like talent, like even over the past like 5 years or so, just watching they shred. So like, you know, in my lifetime already seeing that big change is super cool.
yeah, just kind of seeing the sport. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Just seeing the sport become more like widely recognized and kind of being something that everyone can, just like a select few people. And I think that's also kind of cool. I mean, like, obviously we carry your boards at Wheels and Waves, but like, you know, one of the primary goals of Wheels and Waves is like, you know, we want to provide surfing for everyone. We want it to be like something that's accessible and not just kind of like, you know, something that like only a certain group of people can afford. We want it to kind of be something that everyone can reach, that everyone can kind of like be a part of. Like, how important do you think like inclusivity is when it comes to like the sport of surfing?
That's a hard thing to navigate, man. I too want that, you know. And then you can like, it could be as simple as you want it to be, you know. I think with anything you're into, you can make it really complicated. But like you look at footage of like kids in like Angola on pieces of wood surfing these like cool little left point breaks, you know, like it could be that simple.
Yeah.
You know,
Just sort of like
there's like more new